You probably think I'm a Lakers glazer because Anthony Davis and Austin Reeves, of all people, are on this list. Here's the thing. When I did my research, the NBA fortunately has, you can put duos and you can put full lineups and you can look at the stats from those lineups, which is nice. So what you're looking at here, these are the points that were scored. Let's take points for example. They've scored these two together while they've been on the floor. The team has scored 73.5 points. Okay? So what we're looking at here is how effective the team is with both of these guys on the court. In theory, both of these guys could be totally trash while they're on the court together, but the rest of the team is good. So they're providing value. Even if they're trash, hypothetically, Austin Reeves and Anthony Davis aren't trash. I thought it was interesting though. These guys made the list, and what this really tells me, because I did look, they're averaging the 15th most points in the league. That may not sound like a lot, but they have a lot of minutes on the floor together, more than LeBron and AD do, and their offensive rating is decent. Their defensive rating isn't necessarily exceptional, is what we would kind of expect from AD, but Austin Reeves is not a good defender, and it's really unfortunate. Who's really doing the heavy lifting with these guys being at 10, it's Anthony Davis. He's having an incredible season. Not as incredible as a few guys we're going to mention, but he's having a really great season, and he had to carry someone with him. You're thinking LeBron James, right? You're thinking, well, probably the next best player, probably the player that you could argue is better than Anthony Davis. He has a better player impact score. I'm talking about LeBron James. But no. Reeves and Davis are better on the court together. They score more points than if you were to have LeBron and Anthony Davis on the floor together. Austin Reeves is doing something, even though he's not a great defender. Because I looked it up, and here were my observations. AD leading the league in points per game. Surprisingly, LeBron, okay, I already said that. 7th in rebounds per game. Austin Reeves, averaging 37.5 from 3. That's kind of what you would expect from a role player, a starting role player. 17.8 points, good. Listen, Austin Reeves is good. He is not the problem with the Lakers. The real problem with the Lakers is just that it's not even the bench, it's just that the rest of the team isn't very good. That is the problem. And that has been the problem with the Lakers since 2020. I'm not going to say 2020. I'm going to say 2021. Ever since the Russ trade, not going to talk about the Russ trade. I'm sick of myself talking about. Russ has had some great games, by the way. All right, he's playing well. I'm happy that he is. I think we can move Anunoby and Brunson. There are some very bizarre combinations on here that, for whatever reason, the duo uplifts the team. Because I'm not looking at these duos and saying, are they good together? What's their dynamic? Are they great? All I'm saying is when these two are on the court together, the Knicks are better than if they're not. Hart and Bridges are not having great seasons. I'll tell you that. If you look for another Knicks duo combo, you're not going to find it. It's Brunson and Anunoby. And they are good, though. They are a good DUI, driving under the influence. They are really great together. They have a great assist to turnover ratio, 44.2% from 3 when they're on the court together. And they're shooting most of those threes. So the team has a really great 3-point percentage when they're on the court together, and they're the ones shooting the threes. Most of the heavy lifting, though, is Brunson. They're not a great scoring duo, and most of that is Anunoby, because Brunson is scoring a lot. Brunson is shooting 41.8% from 3. Over 40 is splendid. That's my book. Anything between 35 and 40 is okay. I think less than 35, I think is bad. A lot of people disagree with me on that, but that's my opinion. So Brunson is actually good at defense. He actually has a very low defensive rating, which is what you want. You want a low defensive rating as opposed to a high one, because of what it is, it's how many points the other team scores while you're on the court per 100 possessions. So Brunson actually has whatever he's doing, you may say, what the heck? He's not a good defender. What the hell are you talking about? He is. Whatever his presence out there is impacting them on the defensive end of the floor. Because OG Anunoby is not a great offensive player. He is a good offensive player. I shouldn't say not great. But he's good. Yeah, he's not throwing down buckets, but he is a good defensive player, and you're not going to see that in the box score. But what you are going to see that is in his defensive rating and the defensive rating between him and Jalen Brunson. So good for these guys. I don't think I want to talk about anything else. Thompson and Doncic. Here's the very bizarre thing. They are better on the court together than Doncic and Kyrie Irving. Better offensive rating, better defensive rating, better net rating, better plus minus. Isn't that kind of bizarre? Because I will tell you this. Klay Thompson doesn't have particularly great stats this year. They're not great. I mean, really what you'd be making the argument for is that he's doing really well defensively, which I don't really think he is. I think he's doing well. I think he's doing fine, but he's not a lockdown defender. But he must be, because Kyrie, you think, oh, Kyrie is having an incredible season. Dude, I have some Kyrie stats. Unbelievable shooting. Okay? But the offense-defensive rating is just better when the combo of Klay Thompson and Luka versus Luka and Kyrie. I can't explain it. There's Mavs fans. I know there's Mavs fans. I've talked to Mavs fans on this channel. So tell me, what am I looking at here? Why is it preferable to see Klay and Luka on the court as opposed to Kyrie, a better player, a hands-down better player who's having a awesome season that I don't think too many people are talking about? So, yeah, Klay isn't exactly hot from three. I think he's like 30-some%. Luka is the dirty secret about Luka is his shooting percentages. They're not good. His free throw percentages are not good, and they've never been good for his entire career. He's a high-volume guy. He is proof that high volume and rebounding can, and having solid stats, can really make up for a poor shooting percentage, because he's obviously one of the best players in the league. And he's sort of a case study of just throw the ball up there. Try to score. Don't have a terrible shooting percentage, but you don't need an excellent shooting percentage to be one of the best players in the league. But it is a style of basketball that helps. Kyrie and Luka are sort of the counterpoints to each other, if you think about it, offensively. Next is Randall and Ant. Dude, Randall is doing really well. Randall, I think he's such an interesting player because he is not marketable. Maybe I've talked about this before, but him and Pascal Siakam are the all-NBA, like all-stars that I think couldn't sell cheese to a pizza restaurant, you know? Like couldn't sell tomatoes to the same pizza shop that you were trying to sell the cheese to. Just there's no marketability to these guys, but man, they are good. So Randall is having a great season, and it's seeming to be a pretty good pickup from Minnesota, obviously to get off the Karl-Anthony Towns contract, because Randall is a lot cheaper. I think they'll re-sign Randall, depending on how the season goes, but they have a great offensive rating, but kind of not great defensive rating. What are you going to do? 15th most minutes together in the league, 3.2 net rating when they're on the floor. Here's the thing. What we're kind of noticing is that Minnesota doesn't necessarily have a great bench. And we're going to get deeper into teams that have weak-ass benches. And I'm going to show you how to decipher when you're looking at these lineup stats why teams that you think, wow, they're not that good. They have a bad record, but all the best duos are from this one particular team. It means their bench is really bad. That's how you know. So, 41% from three together when they're out on the court, 71 points together. They have a lot of turnovers, though, which I thought was kind of interesting. When they're on the court, the Timberwolves give up the ball a lot. And again, this is a middle-high-end team. They're doing pretty well. They're in the playoffs, potentially. I'm recording this on Sunday before all the games. I've got, to give you a reference of when I'm recording, the Milwaukee Bucks game and Boston Celtics game is on right now. I have it on right here. There's 1:43 left. It's actually a great game. So, but I'm not going to be distracted. I'll watch highlights. It's fine. That's when I'm recording. So, yeah, they're good. But Randall is shooting really well, 44.7 from three, along with solid rebounds and assists. His plus-minus is 2.3. His plus-minus is 2.3. But Anthony Edwards is shooting 48.3% from 3. And interestingly, 67.4% from the free throw line. Dude, there's going to be a moment in time where someone is shooting better from 3 than they are from the free throw line. It's kind of an unacceptable free throw percentage. It's an excellent, one of the best three-point percentages I've ever seen, especially on 11.6 attempts a game. But the free throws are 67.4. It doesn't add up. What is going on? A shot where no one is bothering you is literally called a free throw. They literally call it the charity stripe. It's a give me. You're at 67%, but then the toughest shot in the game, which you're shooting a lot of, and you're a very high usage player, you're just killing it. You're almost at 50%. I don't get it. It's interesting. So, yeah, it's a fun team to watch. And both those guys are playing really well, and they're a great duo together. Booker and Durant. I kind of fudged this one because stats-wise they aren't that incredible together. But I kind of felt obligated to put Durant on here and Booker on here, so maybe they shouldn't be this high. But their defensive rating is really good. Durant is the leader of this team. Even though the team is really splitting up the usage, a lot of guys are eating on this team. KD is not the guy that's going to go off for like 40, 50. That's not his thing. He is very efficient, and that's his move. Booker is not having a particularly efficient season. I think he's doing a lot on defense and is sort of being that role, trying to win, which I respect, but if you look at his stats, they are not particularly exceptional. And another thing I've noticed is, granted, I'm not watching every game, I'm not watching every basketball game, but it seems to me, if you look at plus minuses of the Suns, then you look at their record, their plus minuses are not very high. So what does that tell you? It means they're not winning by a lot. They're not blowing out teams. So just like looking at strength of schedule, something to consider is how much they're beating teams by. So they are really good. And Booker and Durant are great together, but Booker is mostly doing dirty work this year. It's a pretty low usage year for him. Yeah. It's one of his lowest usage years. So kind of fascinating to me. Booker's shooting percentage from 3 is 32.4. Remember what I said? 35 to 40 I consider good. Below that, 32.4, that's not good. Especially as a guy who's supposed to be a threat from deep. So, but, I still put him on there. 10th most in defensive rebounds. What does that tell you? I don't know. But it's something you wouldn't expect. Mitchell and Mobley. You got to put Cavs on there, right? They're 11-0. Someone read off their strength of schedule, though. It's not great. It kind of makes a little bit of sense if you go through their strength of schedule. It doesn't mean they're not a good team, but they got a great true shooting percentage. Obviously, you have Mobley, who's shooting closer to the basket, but Mobley is a wing. Mobley is a full-on wing. He's a big, but he is also a wing, and he's getting more into those reps. How many three-point attempts? Did I write that down? How many three-point attempts he's shooting? But he is shooting from 3. He is getting out there on the wing, and he is driving to the hoop. Who's going to be the all-stars from this team? I mean, if they're going to be... Could you get 4 all-stars from this team? Are you going to get 3 all-stars from this team? I don't know. But Mitchell's usage has gone down a lot, and Garland's has gone up. That's my buddy Jason has Donovan Mitchell on his fantasy team, and he's good, but he's not racking up fantasy points. And if you watch Cleveland games, you kind of know why. Garland looks incredible. The defensive rating of these guys is one of the best in the league, 103.8. This has a lot to do with Mobley, and I'm sure Jarrett Allen is out there too. They're sharing the floor during this time as well. So, 25th most blocks on the floor together. That's all Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley's blocking. Donovan Mitchell is not blocking anything. Still great. I mean, Donovan Mitchell was on my list of players I enjoy watching. Although, I think Darius Garland should have been, because I started watching a lot of Cavs, and I just enjoy watching him play. Very natural basketball player. Like, I know what I'm talking about. When I watch him, I'm like, he's good. He's good at putting the ball in the hoop. He can do it well. A lot of times when he shoots, it goes in. Natural. So, the Cavs are playing not a lot of minutes, because my first observation was like, man, Donovan Mitchell and Mobley aren't playing a whole lot of minutes, and they're like 29 minutes. And I was like, that's weird. And then I saw Garland and I saw Jarrett Allen, and they're doing 29 minutes as well. I'm like, oh, they must just be like resting. That one, I checked in on that Golden State game. I think at halftime it was like 50 to 90 something. It was something crazy. So, what an exciting Cavs team. Oh, and there's more Cavs. What? Wow. You got 2 new Cavs as a duo. Jarrett Allen, and Darius Garland are actually a little bit better than Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley. Who knew? 15.7 net rating. That means per 100% possessions, they're getting 15.7 more points than the other team. That's enough to win a lot of games. One of the fastest duos in the league, too, because Jarrett Allen is probably one of the faster centers in the league, something to point out. Defensive rating, decent, but the offensive rating, pretty interesting. When you really look at who's affecting offense and defense, you have these expectations and these preconceived notions of who's really good on which end of the floor. But when you actually look at the data, when you get into the facts, not that the data is necessarily correct. Like I said, could be a red herring. Did I use that correctly? False flag? I don't know. But they have surprisingly low rebounds. That was something I noticed. Great 3-point percentage on a lot of attempts, though. Very good. 42.6. Shooting 19.5 while these guys are on the floor together. A lot. So, do I need to explain that the Cavs are really good to you? Probably not. Probably not. And that these guys are really good together? Where are my notes? This would have been on the next page. So, one very important. I cannot believe that I almost missed this. Darius Garland, okay, he's shooting 90% from the free throw line. He's shooting 47% from 3 and 53.8 is his field goal percentage. He is well into the 50-40-90 club. That is an option. That is a possibility for Darius Garland. He's having an exceptional season. I don't think he's scoring as many points per game as Donovan Mitchell, but if you're a stat queen like me, dude, he's the all-star of the team. He's the all-NBA player of this team. And I love Donovan Mitchell. I'm a Donovan Mitchell glazer, but Darius Garland, I will ride for more. I will ride on more. And Mobley, like I said, embracing his identity as a wing. Was I talking? No, I was talking about Allen. Because Allen is the center. He hasn't shot a three-pointer all season. I don't think he's going to be doing that. But he's shooting 65.5% from the field goal range. For a center, I would say above 55 for a center field goal percentage is good. And I hold centers to a higher standard when it comes to field goal percentage than I would a guard. Okay. So, but still, 65.5 is incredible. It's 10 percentage points higher than what I would expect for a center. So, the Cavs are good, like I said. Pretty good team. Tatum and White. And this was by far the best combo. It's kind of not even close. These two on the court together, and I think the next best combo didn't involve Tatum, but it still involved White. Because what I've realized is White is more efficient. Tatum is the high volume. He's the Luka style player on this team. He is the guy that is going to put up loads of threes and have he has a better percentage than Luka does. He shoots way better from 3 than Luka. That's for sure. So his plus minus is 10.4. That's Tatum's 10.4. That's pretty high. It's really good. But White is even higher, 10.9. Granted, Tatum is asked to do more, but White is a very efficient and effective player. And I'm not an efficiency guy necessarily. I think you need the Lukas, you need the Tatums that are high volume. Put that bucket in the basket. You need the Cam Thomases. You need guys that are just like, I don't care, I'm going to score. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to try to get my shot off and score. You need confidence, and that's very important, and I'm not downplaying that. But these two are pretty exceptional together. They're lower on turnovers, great free throw percentages. I love a guy that can shoot a free throw. Solid counting stats because the bench is good. The bench is good. It doesn't really matter who they're on the floor with. The whole bench is great. Granted, I'm watching this game. Did the game end? I don't know. I'll have to look over after I'm done recording. So, pretty cool guys. Pretty good. Tons of threes. They shoot So many threes. All right, don't turn the video off. The Kings bench is awful. The Kings bench is really bad. As a matter of fact, their top guys are the only good players in the team, and they're some of the best players on the team. So don't turn it off. Don't get mad at me. I'm just looking at the stats. Dude, the Kings are rough. They are in need of some trades. There's another team on this list that are in even worse shape when it comes to this, but DeRozan is playing well, and Sabonis is playing incredibly. I hate to say it. I think this is like sort of a thing that's going around on NBA media is like, dang, Sabonis is good. Man, he is a great player. And he is a very efficient player. And DeRozan doing great in the mid-range. He's doing DeRozan things, 52% from the mid-range. Like I said, that's high. Above 50% for a guard. Pretty good. Or wing. We'll say wing. Just a wing in general. Yeah. But he's not shooting threes. Neither of these guys shoot threes. So their three-point percentages for that team is not great. Because it's left to the other players that I'm talking about. And they're bricking it like crazy. They're not good. So you have Sabonis, you have Fox, and you have DeRozan out there, and they're playing really well. They're the exceptional players, but everyone else on that team is not playing pretty well, and they're dragging them down. So that's why it feels like such a surprise when I have these two at number 2 on the list. Does that make sense? I'm not just making stuff up for hot takes. So believe me, look at it. Go to NBA.com/stats. Do the lineup stats. Look at it. You'll see the same thing I did. Then you'll say, you'll be sorry. You'll be sorry. You're mean to me. Left a mean comment. 19 the most steals together. Pretty good. I think I had some Sabonis stats that I had to read. Okay, 64% from field goal range. Excellent. He's shooting 2 3-pointers a game at 44%. What more can you ask for from a center? And he's getting 13 rebounds a game. Second most in the league. What's kind of funny, though, is this guy's amazing. I think he would get a lot more respect and credit if it weren't for Nikola Jokic, a guy that is just a level of magnitude better than him. Isn't that kind of funny? You have this exceptional player who's incredible, great passer, great rebounder, shoots threes. You think, wow, man, this guy is so good. And then just like, well, what about that guy? It's like, oh, that guy is great. He's exceptional. It kind of makes the other guy look bad, even though he's exceptional too. So, yeah, it's funny the era that Sabonis is playing in with another guy that resembles his game quite a bit, just better, just a better version. Because Jokic is having the best season of his career. Here's something I wanted to explain. Why is it Michael Porter Jr., not Jamal Murray? If you look at the best duos, if you look at the most effective duos in the league, the top 4 have Nikola Jokic in them. And it doesn't really matter who he's playing with. Could be Westbrook, could be Christian Brown, could be Michael Porter Jr., could be Jamal Murray. It doesn't matter. The best combinations involve Nikola Jokic. What does that say? The Denver Nuggets bench is absolute trash. Okay? When he's off the court, it's brutal. It is the worst team in the league. It's pretty incredible. So this is like I believe they're getting better. I think Julian Strawther's getting better. He's getting more reps. Peyton Watson, they want him to shoot some threes. So I think it's getting better, but I just really thought that was interesting that the best duos in the league, you probably wouldn't consider all of the combinations with him and with Jokic and everyone else, but it is, especially because the team's not great. So it's just like, oh man, when they leave the court, that team doesn't exist. Poof, and move, son of a bitch. So, third most points per game. I'm just going to glaze Jokic for a bit. Please join me. Third most points per game in the league. 6th most minutes per game. That can't be right. I guess it is right. Kind of high on the turnovers, the combo of these two. So the second most assists on the court. This is the combination of the two. The glazing is on here. So, yeah, this is all correct. 6 most minutes per game together. That's the combo that has played the most minutes with each other. Third most points per game, the combo, and most of these are, basically Porter Jr. is just knocking down threes, kind of like Austin Reeves, who else? OG Anunoby. He scores more than OG Anunoby, but he's just doing his role. And then Nikola Jokic is the exceptional player. I kind of don't even. The true shooting percentage is good. Again, all the responsibility of Nikola Jokic. So here's what I'm gonna say. Jokic is leading the league in rebounds. Remember Sabonis? And then Jokic. Sabonis was second. Then Jokic is first. Second most in assists. Okay. Fifth in points. Best season of his career, and it's not close. Yeah, it's crazy. He's shooting threes. He's shooting 2 threes a game, same as Sabonis. But Sabonis has a great 3-point percentage, 44%. Dude, Sabonis is 44. Almost said Embiid. Jokic is 52.8. 52.8 from 3. Granted, very low volume, but still fun to say. So, 1.1 blocks a game, 1.6 steals a game. That's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. I love watching this guy play. I don't think it's close. I don't think there's a better player in the NBA, and I wouldn't know how to argue anyone else. There was a time where Embiid was going to the free throw line so much and he was scoring so much and it was such an effective game that I had to give it to him at one point in time. But, with him not playing right now and haven't been pretty on near the level of Jokic in a while, it's not even close. There's no one else. Giannis can't do what Jokic does. Granted, there are aspects of Giannis's game that Jokic absolutely cannot do. I understand that, but what a fun time to be a basketball fan. What an exceptional player. Glazing over. I'm done. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out. I had fun. Be good to your mother. Oh, like the video if you're still watching. Appreciate y'all. Be good to your mothers. Eat a corn dog.